Here's a pretty entertaining one about a young guy who truly gets to have the last laugh. And for all you guys out there that were ever rejected by a gal that you really liked, and that's okay, she's allowed to reject you and not be attracted to you. However, she did something sleazy like dated your best friend or your brother or something like that, knowing full well how you felt. And you obviously were hurt by this. And then later on in time, you got your act together, and now she wants you. This is for you. You're definitely going to enjoy this one. And this story here is a perfect example that shows just how crazy competitive so many gals can be with each other, with other women. And how they may not be interested in you, but if a guy has a pretty girl, all of a sudden now they're interested in that guy because he has a pretty girl. Or a guy once liked her, and because he's no longer into her and he's moved on, then she's got to go sabotage his relationship so she can make sure she still has it. That type of thing. Titled, Am I Wrong for Telling the Guy I Rejected That I Like Him? And a shout out to Gerald for sending me this story. She says, the rest of my friend group is all guys. One guy, Clint, asked me out in high school and I rejected him. I started dating another friend, Aiden, and he happens to be Clint's best friend. They're all in the same friend group. Of course she knows that this other dude, Aiden, is Clint's best friend. But she doesn't care, you know? And I'm sure, and notice she said that her whole friend group is just, she's the only girl and all guys. She's that girl, right? And by the way, she's 22 years old now. Fast forward to the present. My friend group met up again for the first time on Saturday. Clint had a major glow-up after high school, and it sparked some feelings in me. In other words, Clint obviously has matured, gotten his life together. He's probably looking really good, hitting the gym, who knows? And all of a sudden, she's checking him out. But here's the real reason why. Clint introduced us to his girlfriend, Karen, a 25-year-old female, and it killed any chance I had with getting with Clint. She's literally perfect. Aha! So she sees Clint after all these years. He's looking good, but he's got a girlfriend. What's the old joke about there's nothing more attractive to a woman than a man who's taken? So this guy's looking good, and he's got a pretty girlfriend who obviously in her mind is prettier than her. So instantly, she sees him in a whole new light, and, oh, I have to sabotage this. My friend group met up again yesterday. I decided just to tell Clint how I felt. Even though he has a girlfriend, and he obviously hasn't made any gestures to you, so you have to screw the whole thing up. I knew nothing was going to come of it, but I figured I'd tell him so he knows. So I pulled him aside and told him that I liked him. You had your chance in high school, honey, and yet you then dated his best friend. That obviously probably really hurt him pretty bad. And you don't think this is going to go anywhere, but you got to tell him anyway to mess with his head. He was silent for a bit before saying, now listen to this. So, I wasn't good enough back in high school, but now that I'm dating Karen, you suddenly want your slice. Is that it? She said, I told him that rejecting him was the biggest mistake I've made in my life. Really? That's the biggest mistake just because he showed up and he looks good and he's got a girlfriend? Of all the mistakes in your life, that's your biggest mistake? And he scoffed and started walking away. He turned around and said, you know what? Then he shook his head and sighed and said, forget it. Then he started walking away before turning around. He opened his mouth like he was going to say something before saying, nope. And he turned and walked away again. He's just like, this guy's like, you got to be kidding me. Right? It's been years. I've moved on. Got a good girlfriend. And now you got to sabotage the whole thing. You are a selfish a-hole. But you know what? Our guy Clint here clearly dodged a big one. Because this gal is just an asshole, you know? But I love this. He's moved on, doing well. He's got believe me, she wouldn't be chasing after him if this girl wasn't hotter than her. So I guarantee you that's the case. But we're just getting started in the story. I cried a little bit, shocker, before going back to the rest of the group. Clint seemed unfazed, and that's what's killing me the most. He's indifferent. He doesn't give a shit. Driving her nuts. I know I probably hurt him when I rejected him, and I expected him to insult me or something, but somehow him just giving me any reaction, no reaction, hurt me the most. Right? Right there, she wanted the drama. Something. Nope. He just scoffed and walked away pretty much. They love the drama. When a guy just walks away or doesn't fight or engage with them or whatever, it makes them crazy. The worst part was he told Karen about it. Well, of course he did, because he's a good guy. He's not going to lie to this other girl's hitting on me. She came up to me later in the night and said, in the future, I'd appreciate it if you didn't hit on my boyfriend anymore. I apologized, but I could tell she was pissed at me. Well, wouldn't you be pissed if some chick was hitting on your boyfriend? It left a little later, and I feel like I fucked my chances of getting with Clint even more. You don't want him. I guarantee you this guy dropped Karen and was interested in her. This chick telling the story here would drop him the next week. She would have got what she wanted. Her ego could be fulfilled that he still's attracted to her, and ooh, he broke up with his girlfriend for me, and she tossed his ass to the side of the road just like that. That's what would have happened. She doesn't care about him. Aiden just blasted me in our group chat. He apparently asked Clint where we went, and Clint told him what I said. Am I wrong for telling the guy I rejected I like him? Yeah, you're wrong because he has a girlfriend. You're wrong because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're only doing it because he has another girlfriend who's better looking than you and is driving you crazy. Now, if Clint was single and there was no girl there, I have to question whether she'd been as interested. But let's say she was, then that'd be a little different. She could say something, but still she's the a-hole who... She was allowed to reject him in high school. Guys, a girl is allowed to not like you or be into you. But the fact that she was dating his friend, best friend in the friend group, rubbing it in, that shows she's an a-hole. That I have a problem with. But she could say something to him if he didn't have a girlfriend, but something tells me she probably wouldn't have. So, and she got what she deserved. He had a girlfriend, and he got what he deserved, so too freaking bad. So guys, this shows perfectly an example how you get your shit together, and down the road, gals that wouldn't give you the time of day, all of a sudden are interested. But especially if you got a pretty girl who looks better than them. That's just how they are. They're psycho-competitive. You know, on one level, it's their own ego being hit. On the other hand, it's like, oh, well, there must be something about him if he got such a pretty girlfriend who's prettier than me. So be aware of that for you young guys out there, you relationship guys, especially you guys that, you know, weren't exactly James Bond in high school or college, but then you got your shit together, you matured, you got your body in good shape, you're doing well for yourself, and these same gals are suddenly interested in you. Be careful. Be careful. Now some comments, because people in the comment section are tearing our new one. One guy says here, you hit on a taken man. Do you really need to ask us? Plus, we are not talking of some deep emotional connection either. You saw him twice. Get your ovaries under control, young lady. You're the a-hole. Another one. On today's episode of So You Think You're a Rom-Com Protagonist, what was your actual goal? You wanted knowing, oh, I got no chance with someone I only like because he's hot. Then you act like you only ruined your chance of getting him after saying something. And of course Clint was unfazed, because what happened was in high school. He grew up and moved on. Normal people don't pine for unrequited love 4 years later after a rejection. You seem to think that he liked me over 4 years ago. Surely he'll still chase after me like a lost puppy if I shake a bag of kibble for him. Yes, exactly. Her ego needed that, and didn't happen. And here's one that says, okay, so let's say you're dating this guy, and a girl from his friend group, someone you met, tells him that she likes him. Would you want him to hide it from you and continue to hang out with her like nothing happened? What exactly did you think was going to happen? That he would hide it or lie to his girlfriend about what you said? Then he would immediately dump his perfect girlfriend for a girl who rejected him years earlier. It sounds like you regret rejecting a guy because he's hot now. That's neither his nor his girlfriend's problem. If I were her, I'd be pissed off too. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but I think it's pretty tacky to hit on someone who's already in a relationship with someone else. Right, but this girl obviously thinks she's so fucking special. Remember, she's the only girl in this friend group, so she's obviously used to guys always wanting to be around her and having her choice with guys, and when all of a sudden she's not getting all the attention, she loses her mind. And one more. This guy says, Clint, my man, dodged a bullet here. Acted very well in his situation, responded to you in a way you deserved, and acted honest to his girl by telling her what happened and protected her by leaving early. Also, his new girlfriend gave you a correct dose of ultimatum without being disrespectful to herself, not you. You, on the other hand, actively try to sabotage your friend's relationship. And believe me, you would dump him a week later if he even left his girlfriend to be with you. So let me give you a pinch of truth. You're wrong. You're the a-hole. You have the main character syndrome. UOP, just a basic attention-seeking bitch. There you go, guys. Thought you'd find that pretty funny.